point up for grabs. When is our next test? Friday. Whoa, Gracie was definitely the loudest, so we're gonna give it to Gracie's group. Okay, let's see. Most people are missing 2 things. What are the 2 important grades we're missing?
Math workshop test.
And what's the other one specifically? Yes, it's complicated, but it's also what else? Yeah, it's completing the square, 12, 8, and 15. So 2, 6, and 4 get a point. Let's see what else. Do you have to complete the semester exam study guide even if you're exempt from semester exam? Yes, the one said it first, they get a point. I'm going to give you all the answers though. When am I giving out the answers?
Won't go over.
Yeah, I heard it from table 4 during workshop, so you can have your point. There was something else. Yesterday we took notes. It was on what form? We were kind of completing the square to put it in this form, but what did we learn from that form? It was called blank form. What's the blank? 3 gets the point. It's Vertex form. And we'll come back to that in just a second. So let's start on number 13. And we're going to work our way pretty quickly. So if you're struggle busing, you'll have to ask me, because otherwise I'm a flash. 13, I'm going to subtract 10 first. So when I do, I have x minus 3 equals negative 8. And I already know what the answer is. Can someone tell me the answer to 13? It is D. Table 1 gets the point. You can't be equal to a negative number with absolute value. Okay, 14. I need to, it was negative 2.3 is less than 4 plus 0.9y. I'm going to move my y terms to the other side and my numbers to the right side. So I'm going to have negative 0.9y minus 2.3 is less than 4. Thank you. It did freak out, didn't it?
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, and then if I add 2.3 to both sides, I'm going to have negative 0.9y is less than 6.3. Now the reason I put the y on the left is that way I don't get myself confused. When I divide by this negative, I've got to flip that sign. So I guess I need to type in my calculator 6.3 divided by 0.9. I get y is greater than negative 7. Greater than, we shade to the right. 14 is A. You can have your point. So 14 is A. If I was just guessing, and I was just looking at the answer choices and I was going to make a guess, what's the one answer choice I wouldn't have guessed? D. It is D. It doesn't look like any of the others. You can have another point for that. Okay, 15 is next. We need to solve this inequality. It's a lot of inequalities today. So 2x minus 5 is less than or equal to 10. So if I add 5, I'll have 2x is less than or equal to 15. So x is less than or equal to 15 over 2, which could be A, could be C. I don't really know. I've still got to deal with that other part, which says 33 minus 4x is less than 5. If I subtract 33 from both sides, I'll have negative 4x is less than, and 5 minus 33, my brain's not working today, negative 28. I divide by negative 4, and I better remember, since I'm dividing by a negative, I need to flip that inequality sign. So I have x is greater than 7. Greater than 7. Greater than 7. Okay, it might help in case you're having a difficulty with 15 over 2. 15 over 2 is, if we did make that a decimal, is 7.5. So we're saying our answer is smaller than 7.5, bigger than 7. So it makes sense that it is C. So 15, but it's not. No, it has to be. You're right, like bigger than 7, less than 7, it has to be C. My key must be wrong, because it has to be C. My key says B all real numbers, but how is that? You can't be bigger than 7. And, like, that's a specific region between 7 and 7.5. So 7.2, 7.3. Yeah, it is. I think it's supposed to be C. Okay, let's go to 16. 16, and I'm going to solve this inequality. We had people who struggled with this time, so this was probably one of, if you were one of the strugglers, I might put a star by 16. Most people forget when you subtract 1, you need to subtract 1 from all the sides. Not just from 9, but also from -3. So you'll have -4 is less than or equal to 2y is less than or equal to 8. And when I divide by 2, I have to divide everybody by 2. So I have -2 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 4. Which answer looks like that? No. D. Okay, number 17. So it was 3x minus 6 plus 8 is greater than or equal to 17. If I subtract 8 from both sides, I'll have 3x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 17 minus 8, isn't that 9? So again, absolute value, I need to get a stamp that says it. Absolute value problems are supposed to have 2 answers. Because we're not sure if the inside junk was equal to positive 9 or if the inside junk was equal to negative 9. So I take the inside junk and I'm going to set it equal. I remember we used to do greater than or equal to positive 9 and less than or equal to negative 9. We had to have both cases. You're supposed to see 2 answers. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that the answer is C. I haven't worked it out yet, but it probably is. So with this one, I'll have 3x is greater than or equal to 15. So x is greater than or equal to 5. Yep, it's looking like C. I add 6 to both sides, so 3x is less than or equal to -3. When I divide by 3, I'll have x is less than or equal to -1. Yep, it is C. Honestly, if I'm just guessing, because I don't know what happens, the final exams come, Ms. Brister will have to agree. People forget to put pencil to paper and work out math problems. And if that's you, and you're going to start guessing, and if it's an absolute value, I'm going to guess the one with 2 answers. So when I guess, I'm going to guess the one with 2 answers. And I say that, and then we get to 18, and 18 has B and C that have 2 answers, and then darn D with all the answers, with all real numbers. So 18, I'm going to divide by 3, so I'll have n minus 4 is greater than 2, and again, I've got to do my 2 cases. I don't know if the inside junk went with a -2 or with a +2, so I'm going to do greater than 2 and less than -2. Add 4 to both sides, I'll get m is greater than 6. M is less than -2. And I feel like I've done something wrong.
I think you did.
I think that's supposed to be a +2. M is less than +2 or m is greater than 6. 18 is B. You can have a point for that one, so. Now, because you're going to be the one that freaks out on me on the semester exam, and we're going to have the same discussion. I mean, you know all of it when we're in class, so I don't understand. Okay, flip to the next page. Unless there are some questions. Yes, please. Yeah, so Ms. Brister has a good question, which I probably need to actually hit on a little more. She's right. So, yes, we're doing the regular 9, and we're doing the -9, but when it's an inequality, we also have to flip the sign. So it was originally greater than or equal to, and we have to flip it to less than or equal to for the second case. So remember, when you break up your 2 cases, you do have to flip the inequality sign with the weirdo case. Like, the weirdo case to me is the -9, because I'm already adding that. And since you're already being extra, go ahead and flip the sign too. We did it, and we did a lot of them, but I get that was in August. And it is now the end of November, and that was a long time ago. I get it. You could, because again, this is a multiple choice thing. So if Mia is having a day and she's just not sure, she knows there's supposed to be 2 answers, she's just not sure, she can always plug in the answers. So if she plugs in, like on number 17, if she plugs in 5, she would get 15 minus 6, well that's 9. 9 plus 8, that is equal to 17. So the x is greater than or equal to that, that makes sense. That checks out. As for the negative 1, she could plug that in as well. So she'll have negative 3 minus 6, so she'll get negative 9. Hey, that still ends up being 17 as well. So she can always literally plug it in to figure out which one's the right answer. Okay, let's go to 19. 19. 19 is a good one. They want to know the range. Are the x values or the y values the range? What's the range?
3.
X values or y values determine range. Yeah, x went with domain. Range went with y's. So we literally need to look at our ordered pairs and look at all those y values. I see a 3, 3, and a 5. So it's either going to be C or D. From here, we just got to decide function or not a function. Function or not a function. Why is it not a function? Because of that negative 1. We have, if we were to draw us a little cute little map, that was the easiest way to handle it. Negative 2 is going to 3. Negative 1 is going to 3. And negative 1 is going to 5. It's not allowed to have 2 outputs. Our input can only have 1 output. So it's not a function. Remember, we couldn't have repeated x's. That implies we're going to 2 different spots at the same time. We can't do that. Are there any questions on 19? 20 is probably one of my favorites. I hope there's one like 20 on the semester exam. I heard it. Yes. Yes. What's the answer on 20? It is. Why is it that? Kelsey, you're going to have a point. Didn't you fail that vertical line test?
Yeah, because the circle, once it goes down to the vertical line test, it'll go through the first one and also go through the second.
Right, like it fails there, because it's going through 2 different points at the same time. Okay, 21 wants us to find f at negative 1. So everywhere inside my function that I see an x, what should I put instead? Yeah, so it used to be f of x equals x squared minus 6x over x plus 2. Well, you're on my nerves. You're on my nerves. But now, everywhere I see an x, instead I'm going to put negative 1. Why do you think they chose negative 1? Instead of like any other number? Why is negative 1 the good one to pick? I get D, but a lot of people are going to end up getting negative 5. And how do I know what kind of wrong answers people are going to end up with? They're going to do the negative times negative and leave it negative. So they might have the wrong sign on the 6. Or when they do negative 1 squared, they might, they might not put it in their calculator, or they might not think it through in their brain. And negative 1 squared, they might put negative 1 instead of positive 1. So this is another one of those where there's potential for a lot of sign errors. And if you think the sign errors aren't in the other answer choices, you'd be wrong. They are. 22 is a lot easier because it's kind of hard to make a sign error with 0. So it's 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 2. Again, that's a tiny, tiny exponent. If you had trouble seeing that too, that would be what you want to ask me out on the semester exam. Okay, we end up getting just negative 2, which is D. The hardest looks like 23. I really think 21 was harder. 23 has a t instead of x's, which is kind of annoying. So f of t equals 2t squared minus t minus 2. And they want us to find f at a. So what do I do? What do you mean by plugging in? Yes. For every t, I'm going to put an a. So I saw a t, I'm putting a instead. I saw a t, I'm putting a instead. So the only answer choice possible is C. And I knew the right answer to begin with because, again, everywhere I see a t, I'm supposed to replace with a. And every other answer choice has a t. I thought we were replacing t with a. So I knew the answer was C to begin with. If it says F at cupcake, then everywhere you see X or whatever the variable is, you replace it with cupcake. You take it very seriously with the replacement thing. Okay, let's go to 24. I heard you. Yeah. Okay, so you know that this is an inequality. You know that this is a quadratic because we've been dealing with parabolas for forever. And then with that squared part, there's another issue with that one. The only one that ends up making you're being a line is C. 24 is C. 25 is a little more complicated. 24 was C. What's the answer on 25? Thank you. This Rooster, he's like mind blowing. He knows the answer. Like, yeah, he knew 25 was C.
I told you. Come on. I see this.
I've got so many more new questions in my life now.
I got ice in my veins. I can do muscle.
I know, right?
Is that a point?
Yeah, it's a point, but I'm confused. Okay, 25 was supposed to be hard. So, I don't know how Seth's been all mystical man on me. I don't know. 25 was supposed to be hard. It's been a long time since we've discussed what makes something linear. You can't have exponents greater than 1 because, you know, if it's squared or cubed or whatever, that's not linear. So automatically I knew which answer choice was out. We're thinking about exponents. B's out. 6 gets the point. Okay, another thing we knew is that you can't have no variables in the denominator. So what other answer choice is out? A. Was that you, Patrick? I didn't even know. I know it was Zay. Who was the other? Who was the boy voice? Was it? Okay. 3 and 6. But you also know that D's out, because don't we normally make it y equals whatever? So it was 3x, y equals 4. When I divide by 3x, I have y equals 4 over 3x. Then again, back to, I'm not supposed to have a variable in the denominator. We are in a second, yeah. And another reason why I know it's C, if I'm still on this kick of solving stuff, if I divide by 2, I end up getting y equals 2x minus 1 over 8. That's going to end up being the line y equals 1/4 x minus 1/8. Now, did you have to go that deep? Heck no. Again, since there were no variables in the denominator, no exponents greater than 1, that's why I knew it was C. That's why it's especially impressive that he just got that one off the bat. I would have to pull my notes back out and check that, honey. I feel like that's going to help me eliminate, yeah.
For 26, is it B?
Okay, well, let's talk about 26. That's a good point. So 26, because of that exponents thing, we know it's not C or D.
And it couldn't be A because the X and Y are on the same side.
Exactly. So when we divide by X, we're going to end at Y equals 60 over X, which is not okay, because now we have an exponent in the denominator. So he's right. It had to be B to begin with. I knew it was B to begin with, because B is a line in what form? 3 gets the point. It's in standard form automatically. If you recognize, hey, that's AX plus BY equals C, that's an equation for a line, and they ask when something was linear, and you're good to go. You don't have to overthink it. You do, Archer. Then let's go to 27. I would love to know someone's answer on 27. Say it again, Hunter. You think it's C? It says standard form, so it can't be C. C's not in standard. C's in slope intercept. What other answer choice can it not be? Because that's not standard form. Can't be D. Either got to be A or B.
C.
You don't know. Stop saying letters.
Out of time, or else she will make you lose a point.
I ain't gonna look at the first one I said on
But why? Yeah.
Tell her why. To Taylor. No, who was Taylor? I didn't say Taylor.
But why is it A? What's okay, but okay. So they gave me this equation, and it was almost. It looked like it was almost in standard form. It just the y's and the x's had to swap spots, so I made them swap spots here in P. It used to be a negative 4x, now I put negative 4x in front, because it was supposed to be AX plus BY equals C. But you're right, I have to go a step further, and he is correct, and I'm not giving him a point because y'all are on my nerves. That it's A. He is correct, but why is my pink answer not good enough? And that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, ma'am. 6 gets point. We can't have a negative value in the very front. Remember, we kept talking about A cannot be negative. So you're going to have to change everyone's sign so A is not negative. Very Kelsey. So it is A. Now, if you forgot that, could you have still looked into the right answer? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, 28. They want us to write in standard form, what is the value of B? So we've got to put it in standard form. So I'm going to subtract 1/5 y. And if I subtract 2, I've got x minus 1/5 y equals negative 2. I literally have moved the 2 over and moved the 1/5 over. So I see my answer is B, negative 1/5, right? And that would be wrong. It's one of the answer choices. I want to guess it. But that would be wrong. I kind of wanted to guess 2, because, you know, the C, so it's AX plus BY equals C. Maybe they got confused. The C is negative 2. Maybe they got confused, so it's supposed to be 2. I don't know. Why is the green not technically standard form?
Which one?
Why is the green not technically standard form? What's wrong with it? No, it can't, Kelsey. It can't. Standard form couldn't have a negative A. Also couldn't have fractions. We weren't allowed to have fractions with the A or the B. So I'm going to multiply everybody by 5 to get rid of those fractions. I'll have 5x minus y equals negative 10. A's not negative. Nobody's a fraction. Everybody's happy. So the answer is A, negative 1. I'm trying to ignore you because you are really over there. fraction for the A or the B, we had specific rules about standard form when it was AX plus BY equals C. There were two things that we were very strict about. The A couldn't be negative, and the A and the B cannot be fractions. And if you think about it, normally it would look something like this. Like, you don't recall it ever looking like X minus 1/5 Y equals negative 2. No, standard form was normally pretty numbers. Okay, there are many ways to find the answer to 29. Many ways. Anyone want to suggest a way? Say it again. We could plug in the answer choices. That would work. That's always going to work. What if I don't want to do that? What if I want to solve a different way? What's another way?
Put them all on one side.
Wait. Can't you take out A and B? Can't you take out A and B?
That's what I want to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But there's another way too, and I'm really sad that we didn't get that. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, I was wanting to... If you wanted to... We spent a lot of time with these yellow-handed or black or whatever thing you use. What if we wanted to put it in the yellow or black calculator you were using? What would we need to do to it? So it's right now it's 3x minus 2y equals 12. What would I need to do first? How do I get it where I can graph it? What form lets me graph it? Y equals y.
MX plus B.
3 gets the point. So I need to move the mx and the b over. So let's see, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 12. I still don't have y by itself. I divide by negative 2. I get y equals 3/2 x minus 6. I could graph that line and then look and see where those intercepts are. I already know that there is an intercept at negative 6. And that's how I would probably do it if I was being lazy and I wanted to check it with my calculator. But is that how you had to do it to begin with? No. If we have 3x minus 2y equals 12, and they ask about an intercept, an x-intercept happens when the y value is 12. So an x-intercept, when y value is 0. So an x-intercept, I literally plug in a 0 for y. So I'll have 3x equals 12, so x equals 4. For a y-intercept, we plug in that x is 0. So literally I'm going to cover up the x part, and I'll just have negative 2y equals 12, so y equals negative 6. So my answers are 4 and negative 6. You were trying to divide to begin with, but 3 and 2 don't go into each other.
That means it's
3 and 12 and 2, 3 goes into 12, yeah, 2 goes into 12, but 3 and 2 don't go into each other. So when you divide by 3, you're going to have 2/3. Or if you divide by 2, you're going to have 3/2. Either way, you're going to be in fraction land. You don't want to go there unless you're graphing. Okay, so we got answers, we think. But it's really confusing. 1, because there's something left off our negative sign. 2, because I've got negative 6y. I can put y, not being confident. We've got 4 and negative 6 as our two answers. But let's see. So it's not C. It's kind of hard from there to recall which answer should I select. Let's see, why am I not going to select A? What does A look like? An ordered pair. So it's implying that the intercept is at that point for negative 6. So we're not going to select A. And then from here, we're being way too picky in life, but literally we need to go in the exact order of the question. So it said x-intercept first. The x-intercept was 4. Y-intercept second. The y-intercept was -6. So we're being that picky, we have to choose B. What a royal pain in the tail. So that one was annoying. And honestly, I understand that you forgot the pink. So again, I would probably do the blue. Make it where I can graph it, put it in my calculator, figure it out with a graph. If you think we can't do all the stuff we did with second calculate, you think you can't find zeros and stuff with linear stuff, you can. You can second calculate any kind of function. Okay, so that's where we're stopping today. Tomorrow, we're doing another chunk. Let's see, we'll start on 30. I would love to go to 46. I don't know if I can be that adventurous. That's where I would love to go to. I would love to go there. Okay, get out your notes. You're on minute. 1 6 point away. Okay, let's go to page. You take 2, so it's one of each of those. I don't care. Let's go to your notes. We were just on page 25 yesterday. We're on page 26 today. Okay, as a general reminder, so far on our next test, which is on Friday, we have completing the square. Some people still need to take a quiz on. Quadratic formula, which if you don't have memorized, God bless your soul. And then, what we did yesterday, which was vertex form. I really think vertex form was not that bad. Of the 3, well, I don't know, it kind of involves completing the square. It's second easiest. Quadratic formula is easiest, but that requires you knowing the formula. I think it's second easiest. It's a little easier than completing the square. Were there any questions about vertex form from yesterday? Okay, then let's go to the next page. We're literally good grief, gonna fly on this page because it turns out vertex form is super useful. Because vertex form is kind of like what we have it in y equals mx plus b, where we can instantly graph it. In vertex form, we can instantly graph our parabola. So I need to graph number 5. First things first, I'm going to put the point for the vertex. What is my vertex on number 5? Say it again, one. We'll give you the whole order pair. Okay. I get that there's a 3. And then what's the x?
1.
Okay, I'm not giving everyone the point. Remember, it was the opposite sign. So if you said -5, you're wrong. It's the opposite sign.
I said 5.
That's nice. Okay, so first things first, let's go to 5, 3. 5, 1, 2, 3. I put my point. And I know this sounds dumb to say I'm almost done from here, but I am. Is my graph stretched or shrunk in any way? Is there an A out front? No. So we were talking yesterday about vertex form. Where that vertex, the x-coordinate ends up being the opposite sign. And we talked about if there was a number out front over here, which there's not, there's just a 1, that one maybe might stretch us, or that might make us really fat. It just depends. But this one's not going to be any fatter or skinnier. Is my graph supposed to go up or down? What's the direction? So it's the direction, because it is a positive in front, it's going to be up. And then again for that, we were talking yesterday, what did we call that? Shape. For the shape, it's not going to change any. Okay, so normally, and we kind of did this with, again, absolute values. If you just really understood those, it would be helpful now. You can still go over 1 up 1 on each side because, you know, just like absolute value functions, quadratics are symmetric. And then since it's a parabola, things are squared. So if I go over 2, 2 squared is 4, so up 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I go do it that way, I can do it the other way. Over 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Because again, parabolas are symmetric. And if I had room, I would go over 3 And then 3 squared is 9, so I would go over 3 up 9. I don't think I have enough room for that. Now, the only difference, and be careful with this, mine are not the best. When you connect the dots, you still want it to look like a U and not a V. Be careful, you still want that U and not the V, or else we're going to think you're in absolute value land. Okay, I say all this. Let me stop there for a second. Are there any questions about that? So the axis of symmetry is still 5. Well, I mean, it's always going to be the x-coordinate of that vertex. So if we know the x-coordinate of the vertex, we know the axis of symmetry. I'm not gonna, what is it, screw the pooch? Is that the phrase? I'm not gonna screw the pooch yet. Let's do the next couple, and then I'll tell you my secret to you of the day. So let's do number 6. I need to know that vertex. It would help if there was a change in the shape, so I could consider that when I'm graphing. He's right. That axis of symmetry is going to be easy to find, and then the direction also going to be easy. I know the direction already. Is it up or down? One can have a point. It's down because of that negative out front. The vertex is a little tricky on this one. Something's missing.
There's only an x intersection and y.
There's only the x part of the vertex. There's no y. So for y, I'm going to put a 0 because you understand it's a plus 0 on the outside, the x. And then what number should I put for the x?
Negative 3.
-3 because it's the opposite side. 2 can have a point. So the axis of symmetry is going to be at -3. So vertex is at -3, 0. Now again, since it's a 1 out front, even though it's a -1, it's not going to affect my shape. But instead of going over 1 up 1, I'm going to go over 1 down 1. Instead of going over 2 up 2, I'm going to go over 2, and then 2 squared is 4. So down 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could go over 1, 2, 3, and then 3 squared is 9. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, again, we had easy counting tricks like this when we were graphing absolute values. So if this is ringing a bell, that's good. If this is not, it's going to be okay. As long as you understood how we got that vertex, so you can check the vertex. We'll talk about other ways you can make this happen and still get a graph and not get in trouble in just a second. Are there any questions on 6? Okay, let's go to 7. One loose point. Vertex, shape, direction, and the axis of symmetry. So I'm still really considering the 4 things we were talking about yesterday. What is the vertex on number 7? You said it first, Hunter, so your group gets the point. It's pointing up. There's really no change in shape because there's a 1 in front. So these have all been really, really nice. Are they always going to be that nice? Absolutely not. And the axis of symmetry is also going to be at -7. Okay, so I need to put my point, my vertex at -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then since my direction is up, I'm going to go over 1 up 1, over 2 up 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I had room, I don't have room. But if I had room, I'd go over 3 up 9 and keep on going. Over 4 up 16. Okay, so you see how I can spot the vertex from vertex form. And that's the important part. Now, if you understand my counting trick, the over 1 up 1, over 2 up 4, over 3 up 9, if you understand that, that's terrific. Good for you. It makes your life easier. If you don't, if you're lost, and you really just can't afford to miss these because you're going to miss the completing the squares and some other stuff anyway, which it happens. I'm not taking this away from you. You can still put that in your calculator as it is. So if I go on my calculator, y equals, I put in parentheses, x plus 7 squared minus 4. I press graph. Oh, lo and behold, my calculator still graphs it. And if I press, I can trace and try to figure out these points. Or if I press second table, I can still find those actual points to plot. So literally the points in this constant plotted over here, I can figure out on my calculator. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So if you're struggle busing and you need to still just graph it old school in your calculator, you can. Number 8, real fast. I'm not even going to write all this stuff down. My vertex is at positive 6, negative 8. I know it's going down. And I really can't even fit it on my picture anyway. It's a terrible pain. You have 3 problems that were assigned to you on the workbook. Thankfully, in the workbook and on the test, you're not going to end up off the graph like this. Your work is going to be perfect. If your group is not already at a 5, you can know to a 5. Terrific. Okay, that's all the words I got to say. If you want to pack up, you can.
You took 4 points away from both of them.